This edition of Sauce Bon, Abby Breidenbach is live at Vermilionville cooking up a batch of my favorite beignets.
Good morning, Katie, and good morning, Acadiana. Abby Breidenbach back here with Chef Marcus Bageron. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we are in step 2 of our beignet making process. We already sort of finished mixing up the dough. If you're just joining us, yes, we're making beignets. We put together some ingredients. We'll have a list of those ingredients online later on. But right now, what are we doing?
We're going to go ahead and flour our surface, which I've already done, and we're going to roll out the dough. That doesn't take too long, but you want to make sure that you can get into a nice, about 1/8 of an inch thick square shape. And it always helps to flour a little bit on top. That way you don't get your rolling pin stuck. And you just go ahead and work the dough. You don't want to do too much though, because then it's going to get tough. It's just like making a bread or anything like that. The more you work the dough, the harder it gets. And it doesn't work as well when you fry it. It's going to be too dense. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to roll this out. And once you've got about 1/8 of an inch thick, we're going to get some little pieces kind of like this. I've already cut some. We're going to go ahead and cut them into squares. Now for that, you can use a pizza cutter or you can use a knife, whichever you prefer, whatever you're better with. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use a pizza cutter for the first part. And you're going to go straight through, make a line, and just roll it back down. Just going to keep doing like that. Also, when you use a knife on a wooden surface, please don't slam it too hard down on the surface, because then you can damage the blade. Same thing with the pizza cutter. So always be careful when you do stuff like that. Or handling sharp objects in general.
Okay, so there's another step that we're about to get to. You were telling me earlier, a lot of people use yeast when they do beignets. This is sort of your alternative to that.
It's an alternative. We're going to use the steam. So we're going to cut X's into these squares, the top of the beignets. That's going to allow the steam to escape, causing it to puff up as it's cooking. So you don't have to worry about yeast or letting it sit, or warm water or sugar or anything, or feeding the yeast. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little X's. You don't want to go too deep, just enough to make a little mark on it. You're going to cut them.
So you don't want to cut all the way through. You just want to sort of make the mark.
No, because then they're going to fall apart. And it just wouldn't be as, I guess, visually appealing. I'm sure they would still taste delicious because you still got all the ingredients there. But the key is to just gently go through with an X.
And I'm sure this, with the X, is sort of a quicker method than waiting for it to rise and putting yeast in it.
Definitely. Because normally you would have to wait like 30 minutes to an hour if you do yeast. Or not even that long. It depends on what kind of yeast you use. But this is just a quicker, easier method. Especially if you're good with a knife. You can just do it really quick. Just be careful not to cut yourself. And don't let the kids do this part.
Right. So we're spreading this out sort of over time throughout our show. But overall, you said this is about a 15-20 minute process making beignets. From
start to finish. I mean, you want to take your time when you're frying them, mostly because you're handling hot grease. And that's really kind of a thing you need to take precautions with, just because it's very volatile. But for the most part, mixing it is easy because you're using very simple ingredients, a very simple rolling out method, and then simple cutting method.
Awesome. So we'll keep doing this for a little bit longer, and we're going to catch back up with you when we're actually frying the beignets. So right now, before that, we're going to send it over to Daniel to check in with him on weather. Hey, Daniel.